Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here with me today. Oh my God, to be honest, I'm really nervous right now, standing in front of thousands of audience, and it is also the first time that I have ever been on such a big stage. But I have to admit that I was even more nervous than ever, knowing that I'm gonna stand on the same stage with these extraordinary speakers over there. And I immediately imagined myself as that little aunt over there, questioning what can I say to make the audience go, wow, this girl is so amazing. But as a 16-year-old girl, I could not think of anything than my love for mangers and also my love for studying. I have nothing more than that. So what can I say? I was really exhausted trying to find a topic that can be impressive enough to make you guys go wow. I felt very stressed, and it was really stressful to the point that I had to reach out to the nature, to the Hoang River, which is my very companion since I was young. And that very little moments, just like walking beside the Hoang River, actually reminded me of when I was about 6 years old. And at that time, the biggest turning point of my life took place, and that's when I learned about my parents' divorce. Even though I know that this divorce was actually the ultimate approach to free my parents and myself from the continuous misunderstanding and the gradual loss of shared goals and empathy for each other. However, I was still completely in shock, as I never thought that the link between humans, the link between family members, which had been built for years, can be broken that easily. But that was not the hardest part to overcome, guys. At that time, divorce was seen to be a rather sensitive and even a taboo subject, as lifelong commitment seemed to be the only key to a happy marriage. This actually made my family receive a lot of external judgments, and we, the children, also suffer from unfair doubts about our future. We were accustomed to these words: she is useless, she cannot do anything, and don't play with her, kids. Imagine you're hearing those words at the age when you're supposed to be cherished with love and care. How you gonna feel? I was sad, hopeless, and even angry about the reason why I was viewed as an unworthy individual. It made me want to become extraordinary so bad, just to prove that I was completely okay, and that situation did not define anything about me. At that time, studying in Hue was the utmost priority, as Hue was known to be the land of learning, where a lot of patriots and talents gather here to study, and it has become a tradition, a custom for us to make learning our utmost priority. Knowing the profound impacts that learning can bring to me in order to fight against those perceptions, I decided to become that academic achiever and eventually became that Asian kid just to fight against those perceptions. The time when I was preparing for my high school entrance examination was actually the milestone of my academic journey. You guess what? As I attended every single competition, I completely failed, guys. I failed. I never thought that I'm gonna stuck in the negativity of learning, making academic achievements become the measurement of my values. For me, I immediately deceived myself into the way of thinking that there might be some minor mistake, and I could not be defeated easily. Eventually, I got to my dream high school, which is the uniform that I'm wearing right now. But I was no longer there at the top position where I used to be. And I tried to accept the fact that I'm no longer extraordinary. And I tried to accept the fact that I'm just that normal. But you know, when I was walking beside that Hương River, I still felt that panic of the extraordinary trap. I just contemplated about the root of what it really meant to be extraordinary and what it really meant to be normal myself. And I felt that particular scent of the herbs coming from the Hương River, and it reminded me of this very poem. Cỏ thơm của những thạch xương bô, xanh ở hai nguồn tả hữu trạch, hơi thơm dần lượt nước trong veo, hợp thành sông thơm chảy róc rách. It actually recalled me of how the name Hương was born. On both sides of the Hương River, there is a variety of thạch xương bồ, and it was known to have a fragrant smell, guys. And maybe it is believed to make the water there gradually become fragrant, and maybe that is how the name Hương was born. However, before these very simple basic names, we actually have Linh Giang, Lô Dung, and Hương Trà attached to this river. But the fun fact is that only this very name survived until this day and even became the identity of it, and also the heredity in general. I just wonder why such a simple name can be remembered until this day, but not those are formerly given by the emperors. And now, standing here right in front of you, I had the answer for myself, and that is how it has been that normal and that extraordinary. So unnormal and extraordinary are two completely different words with different meanings. Well, let's look at this. You can see that we have extra plus ordinary. Now attach them together. What we have? Extraordinary, right? So extra means small and ordinary means normal. So in general, it can be more normal, or to be more specific, I would say, the more you embrace your normalcy, the more extraordinary you become. But maybe some of you might wonder, how can we accept our normalcy when we are surrounded by a pool of talented people? Oh my God, we're gonna lose. I don't think so, guys. I believe that we all have the inner neutron within us. But maybe we also have some mistake in our life, and we might feel hopeless, we might feel panic when we are surrounded by a pool of talented people, and that's okay. But just reflecting back on what I have said, I try to accept my normalcy. I try to accept the fact that I was no longer extraordinary. Then what words I'm missing? I realized that I have missed the most important point in my self-created 3A technique, and I'm going to introduce you now. So firstly, I would like to talk about the foundation, which is accept. Once we are stuck in the extraordinary trap, we might feel hopeless, we might feel panic. But we need to accept that this loop is endless. And it is also an integral part of our evolution. That way, we can turn the sorrow of being normal, of not being extraordinary, into the treasured goal that can be used for our second step, which is the understanding, and I would say, appreciate. Being in the chaos of trying to find our unique points in order to stand out in an exceptional crowd. It's hard, it's challenging, but try to embrace what we already have is the only choice that we can do in order to believe in ourselves. And appreciate every single thing, every single moment that comes into our life, even the most unpleasant ones, because in those unpleasant things, we can find the light which has been hidden for years. So now, let's just do a very small and practical actions right away. Now, just look next to you, the audience next to you, or just look in your mirror look in the screen of your phone, and now try to portray how that object and how that very individual can value themselves, value the normalcies. And for me, I actually remember about my very companion, which is the Hoon River. And I know that she has been appreciating her journey of transforming from a stripe land into a spectacular river, and also her journey getting her identity names. But maybe those qualities can be identical to others' rivers, right? But remember, the way the journey to develop those qualities are completely different with every individual and every object. And that is what I think make us stand out naturally as who we are, as we doesn't have to pretend that we are extraordinary. But if we acknowledge that we are not that impressive, we are not that outstanding, what can we do? I believe that taking actions is actually the key, and is also what I was missing and I have to work on. Because I learned that normal is not a day-by-day existence. It is an actions of commitment. Being normal doesn't mean that you stay at the same place and just waiting for the result to come. It is a step-by-step process to create a meaningful life. I know that as a 16-year-old girl, I may not have done anything that is big enough in order to create a meaningful life for myself. And this final step is also what I still have to work on in order to fulfill my journey of being normal, and also compensate for the lack of practical actions that I should take in order to be deeply in love with my normalcy. So now, standing right here, at this moment, I just want to say that I'm gonna complete 1% of this final stage with all of you guys here. And if you want, you can do it with me too. Just by reintroducing some of the normal things that happen in your life, what contributed to you to make who you are, to make your normalcy become that extraordinary. And now, please allow me to do that at this very moment. I am Phan Hoang Lien. I'm 16 years old, and I am accepting to be normal. I am embarking on the journey of being that normal girl. I appreciate that I was born in a family which has divorce. I appreciate that I became that academic achiever who might be stuck forever in the negativity of life. And I also appreciate the fact that I am such a professional painter who can turn an ant into a cockroach, guys. But that is me, Phan Hoang Lien, who is incomplete but also fulfilled from the bottom of my heart. I want to reaffirm one more time that the road to extraordinary doesn't come from what's outside. It starts from within. It starts from the normalcy which has been there waiting for us to accept, to appreciate, to shape and improve. And that is my turn. That is the end of my turn. And now is all of your time. So are you ready to accept your normalcy? Thank you.